Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Wednesday evening to you all. Hope you guys are having a great evening out there and have had a great day so far and a great work week as we're working to the second half of it and getting closer to the weekend. I'm going to talk briefly on the severe weather threat tomorrow, as I do think it has probably the highest ceiling of all the severe weather threats so far over the last few days and throughout the rest of the week. So that's what really what we're going to break down in this evening's video. I want to mention, guys, I'm pretty tired. I'm pretty worn out. I'm not going to lie. So if I seem a little sloppy, I seem a little less energized, I do apologize. It just some days are just harder to keep up than others. Has not been a bad day at all, but I've made some lifestyle changes in a good way, and it's definitely caught up with me today. So I'm adjusting. Been working out a lot more and just been changing up my diet and just changing up things, positive things in my life to try to improve myself as a person. So bear with me, a little wore out tonight, but I appreciate you guys. And if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. If you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it. And it gives others an opportunity to do so too. And I do so every single morning. Wake up very early. Get some quiet time for the kids wake up and definitely pray over all those prayer requests. So let's get rolling. I'm not going to keep you guys very long. I'm pretty much going to give you guys the cut and dry information, but I am really concerned tomorrow about a damaging wind threat, and obviously the Storm Prediction Center is too, and I'll show you why here in a second. But let's take a look at satellite visibility here and what's going on. You got this swirl. It's a nice looking swirl out here. It's not nothing scary about it. It looks like a low-level circulation, but all the excuse me, all the convection is really away from any kind of circulation. So, it's not doing much. Clouds are beginning to enter the eastern Carolinas, like I mentioned that they would do this morning. In fact, they were showing some cameras around the Myrtle Beach area. You can see a pretty extensive cloud deck starting to enter the area. So clouds will move in for the Carolinas tomorrow and probably make for a more of a dreary day for the Carolinas as a whole. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But right now, you got that piece of energy I talked about this morning that is re-energizing and exploding over areas of eastern South Dakota, moving into Minnesota, and will bring a kind of maybe a bowing segment of a line of storms, maybe into the next several hours and into the overnight hours for a large chunk of Minnesota. We'll briefly talk about that. But other than that, you can see the big time upper trough and another piece of energy will eject across the middle to north central part of the country tomorrow and will promote the severe weather threat. But there's a lot going on in this picture. There really is, with this swirl catching your eye and this big time convective explosions going on in areas of the north central U.S. But let's talk about tomorrow. Not going to really focus in on what's happening today, but I will mention what could potentially happen here in the next several hours. So tomorrow, you got the enhanced risk. This does have a chance to upgrade to a moderate risk. I will not be surprised if it does. I think it will be a wind-driven moderate risk, as this looks like it will have a brief 1 to 3 hour window to be a tornado threat. But I really think this quickly goes what we call linear and turns into an intense line of storms that has a significant wind threat with it. But you have a pretty large area of an enhanced risk, and even larger of a slight risk that extends all the way to central Kansas, all the way up to the U.S. The U.S.-Canadian border up here in Minnesota. So, you got a pretty large enhanced risk in this. The tornado risk with this is very small, relatively speaking. Stretches all the way from areas of kind of east central areas of South Dakota into, just eastern areas of Dakotas in general, southeastern North Dakota, and then a pretty large 5% risk. This is just south of Fargo. What's going to happen tomorrow is you're really going to have a big time moisture advected into Minnesota. I'm talking about dew points well into the 70s. Incredible dew points in Iowa today. I mean, I've never even felt a dew point of 83, 84 here in South Carolina. If I have, it was probably right after a thunderstorm when it was starting to heat back up, but there was still a lot of moisture in the air. But, it is very true. Those crops do sweat out there in Iowa, and I do think it enhances the humidity out there in Iowa, and I really think it did today potentially. But anyways, a tornado threat tomorrow, 10% risk, 25 miles in any given location. But the wind threat, a 45% chance of damaging thunderstorm winds, wind gusts of 50 knots or higher occurring in 25 miles in any given location. 50 mile per hour winds, 45, 55, 60 mile per hour winds can cause damage, obviously. But we have a big time wind threat tomorrow, 45% risk of damaging winds in this area right here tomorrow, including areas of eastern Minnesota, southeast Minnesota, and far areas of, western Minnesota, then far areas of eastern South Dakota. I'll get my directions right here eventually. And a pretty large area of a 30% risk, covering a lot of states here in the north central U.S. and the northern plains. So, like I said, this is going to have a window for a tornadic threat, but I think it will quickly go into a damaging line of storm kind of threat. Hail threat will be big, especially right at the initiation of these storms. So, we'll watch out for that too. You got a hatch region, which means you also have a 10% risk outside this 30% risk and 15% risk to see larger hail, even 2-inch of diameter or larger in this region. So let's go on and keep this rolling. Let's look at the HRRR model for tomorrow, and we'll just, we'll starting off this evening. And like you said, we got these big time storms going on right now, but this will be a nasty line of storms that moves through central and northern areas of Minnesota through the late evening hours into the overnight hours. Does areas of western and northern sections of Michigan see any rain? Not sure, but I think, this could be some nasty weather in central to northern Minnesota as we're going into the overnight hours as a weakening line of storms comes through, but it could still be packing a punch in these areas. So you see this low pressure, this continues to move out, some leftover rain and showers. And then we're getting into Friday morning, leftover convection, then everything clears out, right? So, wow, I just totally did that backwards. My bad, guys. So let's back up and punt a little bit. I told you I was a little sloppy. So let's start this out from right now. It actually looks very similar to what's happening right now. Normally, I would start the video over right there and restart from scratch, but I'm human and I make mistakes. So I was a little bit too far ahead. So this is right now. This is right now. And let's get this rolling here. You got the line of convection ongoing, and it's kind of similar to what I just showed you. This will continue to kind of have some steam to it. And like I said, same thing of what's going to happen tomorrow evening. The leftover energy from what's going on right now will continue to move through Minnesota, probably not as far north as what could happen tomorrow night. And you see this little Boeing segment right here. This will move into northern Wisconsin. And really anybody in northern Wisconsin needs to watch out into the overnight hours. This could pack a punch, damaging winds as possible, some large hail, and then it will eventually weaken. This will move out the picture. And I really think I got a guy who listens almost every video in northern areas of Michigan. I think you'll see some rain from this overnight tonight into the wee hours of the morning. I really do. I don't think you're going to miss out with this, but we'll see. But as we're getting into Thursday, and finally we're into Thursday, and same kind of situation. Storms explode very quickly. Tornado threat will be highest around where the surface low is, where the kinematics are best. I don't think these storms are going to be large. They're probably going to be fast moving, but there could be a quick tornado threat with these storms right up here to the surface low. Dew points and moisture will be massive in this area of Minnesota. Minneapolis tomorrow, extremely humid. By far your most humid day of 2022. In fact, who knows? It might be your most humid day of the year. That's a far-fetched thing to say, but dew points are probably going to be in the mid-70s in this area of south central and central areas in Minnesota as this low pressure yanks up all this low-level moisture from the Gulf going all the way up the lower 48 into the northern portions of it. So this will quickly, I really think, will kind of develop, and it doesn't look that bad, but this will develop into a damaging line of storms potentially. And this is where you watch out for that 45% risk right into here tomorrow evening. And this could pack a punch, especially with this low-level jet that's really ramping up in this area. So basically this strong low-level jet will probably mix to the surface. Therefore, you will have a lot of high winds with this storm. Even if the storm on radar doesn't look super intense or anything like that, you could have wind-driven large hail in this region right here in eastern South Dakota, southeast North Dakota, and areas of western Minnesota. Please watch out in this area. This could get nasty tomorrow. It really could. And then as you're getting into the overnight hours, this will continue to work its way, kind of like I mentioned before, into areas of northern Minnesota. Dew points are going to be insane tomorrow. It's really what's feeding this. Look at all this high moisture at the surface. Dew points in this little strip right here. I mean, all the way up into Lake Superior in the northern sections. My guy who lives up there and the northern sections of Michigan, very humid tomorrow. Very, very humid tomorrow from really any time of the year for up here. But big time moisture riding up. These are dew points, not temperatures. So you're going to have plenty of moisture tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Very intense surface moisture. It's going to feel very humid. And in response to that, you're going to have a lot of surface cape. I mean, ridiculous cape probably at the surface because of this low level moisture, which is normally always in response to the low level moisture. You always have high levels of cape, which is that storm energy that you need, well, to fuel the storms. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have storms everywhere where you have a lot high levels of cape. Just like down here, you're going to have an enhanced risk all the way down Nebraska, but there's going to be a capping mechanism in the atmosphere, area of stable air that's probably going to prevent any kind of big time storm development, or widespread is what I'm trying to say. So we'll watch that for sure. But I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm running out of gas here. You check this out, right? So this is for tomorrow. You see this intense coloring right here. These are winds, up to 60, 70 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour. It's picking up on this line of storms per the latest HRRR model that sweeps through, develops in areas of northeast Nebraska, moves into eastern Nebraska in general. But I mean, you look at this is what we look at when you're talking about hurricanes. This is 80 to 90 mile per hour wind gusts showing up on this. And you keep this rolling here 2 hours, in advance. We're getting into Thursday evening. This is a nasty bowing line of storms moving from southwest to northeast, screaming into southeast Minnesota. So please be careful in this region tomorrow. Damaging winds is going to be a big threat. So that's all I got, guys. I know that was kind of a sloppier video. I'm really feeling it, tired. I'm not feeling sick, just a little worn down, tired. It just happens. Especially when you're making 2 videos a day. A lot of times you just don't have the energy to do it. So anyways, God bless all y'all. I'll have you an update in the morning, and I'll talk to y'all soon.